During the previous semester, I joined the cheer team at Kansas Wesleyan University because I wanted to improve my tumbling skills and learning something new. I got to travel to different states and schools to show off our routines and also did sideline at the basketball games to support our school with some spirit. After the season was over, this brought me to wonder if cheer is actually considered to be a legitimate sport. In my opinion, and based on the information that I found, I would argue that cheer is in fact a sport. By the end of this speech, I urge you to see why this is a big issue and persuade you to support cheer squads of all levels and to petition for cheer to be considered a national or even Olympic sport. The way to find out if cheer meets the correct criteria is to understand how the world defines what a sport is. There are two main problems in regards to the debate on whether or not cheerleading should be considered a sport. Cheerleading is not recognized as a sport by some individuals throughout the world. What is the definition of sport? The definition of sport by dictionary.com is an athletic activity that requires physical prowess or skill and often a competitive nature. Now, the majority of schools do not recognize cheer as a sport but more of a physical activity or club for school spirit. Usually, some high schools will consider like football or baseball or basketball or soccer to be more considerable as a sport compared to cheer being a club like a chess club or a robotics club or a book club. Those still are technically have, in their own ways, they also consider them as a sport, just not some high schools don't. Another problem is that sports are required to meet a specific set of qualifications to be labeled as a sport. Um, a sport's primary purpose is competition versus other teams or individuals within a competition structure comparable to other athletic activities. These requirements are usually issued with it must be a physical activity which involves propelling a mass through space or overcoming the resistance of mass, which in cheerleading we have stunting, so that checks off. Another one is contesting or competing against with another opponent is required. Cheer has competitions. We actually, there's a national competition. A third one is it must be governed by rules that explicitly define the time, space, and purpose of the contest and the conditions under which a winner is declared. The cheer competitions have time limits, mat sizes, score sheets, and specific rules depending on that competition. So that checks off as well. And another qualification is acknowledgement that the primary purpose of the competition is a comparison of the relative skills of the participants. You ever seen, competitions on ESPN? It's a national competition. Like, again, like this shirt, it's a national competition. So that also checks off. In spite of these misconstrued obstacles, by definition, cheerleading is a sport, and here are some of the ways we can help make it recognized as one. Anyone can make a difference in a situation by helping to validate cheer as a sport and recognize the many benefits it will bring by doing so. I highly suggest that anyone who doubts cheer is qualified enough to be a sport, they should join a cheer team or even simply attend a competition to form their own opinion for themselves. On December 6, 2016, cheerleading was given provisional status by the International Olympic Committee, giving the International Cheer Union the ability to petition for cheerleading to become an Olympic sport in the future. And I believe there's still a petition going on right now for this year to actually it becoming an Olympic sport here in the next year or so. Cheer is a highly rewarding physical activity that pushes its participants to their limits, and I want to encourage anyone who is interested in to get involved in some way or another. Cheer is more than peppy chants or flips or splits. It teaches focus and discipline while promoting good physical fitness. As some people say, cheerleading is not a contact sport. I can guarantee it is a contact sport because I recently, last semester in October, I dislocated my elbow doing tumbling. And there people get dropped all the time with doing stunts. So we have many concussions, all this. So I can definitely tell you it is a contact sport. Telling you that there. Another aspect about cheer is that it's not just for females. Males who join cheer can also receive college scholarships for being on a co-ed team at their respective school or university. An example is my roommate this past year is actually a almost full scholarship, uh, cheer scholarship at our school. He received a full cheer scholarship here at our school, and also there are actually other athletes from different sports that join the cheer team as well. I am also on the football team, and myself and three other players are also on the cheer team. Plus, a wrestler is also on the cheer team. So we come from many different sports that also want to give this a try, and I can totally guarantee it is a lot of fun. I urge you to realize the potential that cheer has when it is recognized as a legitimate sport, and ask for anyone and all support you can give to making that happen. The best way to do that would be to take it to social media platforms and to get the word out to anyone who will listen. I encourage you to locate any local teams, or organizations to find out their story and decide if there's anything you can do to support them, or even enroll a child of your own so they can benefit from the sport as well. After taking the time to research all I could about cheer and all the rigorous learning and training that you have to go through, I have come to the conclusion that cheerleading should definitely be considered a sport, and hope that I convinced you to take action and spread the word that cheer is as much as a sport as football, as basketball, and even soccer. So, in my conclusion, I still think cheerleading is a sport, and I hope you think that too. Thanks.